Welcome back to The Political Exposure, where we dive deep into the lives of political leaders and break down the world's dilemmas. Today, we're unraveling a trade tango that goes beyond just the US and Canada. We're talking tariffs, not just over hockey and bacon, but real policies affecting Canada, Mexico, China, and even the European Union. Get ready for a wild ride through tariffs, trade wars, and their ripple effects on everyday life. Disclaimer: this video is created for educational purposes only and does not promote any political viewpoint. All information has been carefully researched. References are provided in the description. If you have any suggestions or corrections, please leave a comment or email us. First things first, what in the world is a tariff? A tariff is essentially a tax imposed by a government on imported goods. It's a way for a country to regulate trade by making foreign products more expensive, which can help protect local industries. The goal? To make imported goods pricier, encouraging folks to buy local. While they can protect local industries, tariffs often lead to increased prices for consumers and constrain relationships between trading partners. Let's break it down with an example. Imagine Emma, a passionate matcha latte lover. Emma's favorite cafe is known for its unique, imported matcha powder that gives her lattes that distinct, refreshing flavor. Now, if the government decides to impose a tariff on these imported matcha powders, the cost for the cafe rises because they have to pay extra tax on each shipment. To cover these increased costs, the cafe might raise the price of Emma's beloved matcha latte. Even though Emma's routine hasn't changed, her daily latte now costs a bit more. This simple example shows how tariffs can ripple through the economy, affecting the price of everyday items, like that perfect matcha latte. Comment below how much you're paying for your matchas or coffees. So, what's happening on the trade front? Let's walk through the timeline of key events. Early 2025, the United States rolls out a series of tariffs that don't just target Canada. On February 1st, President Donald Trump signed orders imposing a 25% tariff on imports from Mexico and Canadian goods, with the exception of oil and energy products, which face a lower 10% tariff. February 4th, 2025, a 10% tariff kicks in on all imports from China, setting the stage for further escalation. March 13th, 2025, Canada fires back. In response to these measures, Canadian officials announced a retaliatory 25% tariff on a list of U.S. goods valued at approximately 29.8 billion Canadian dollars. Meanwhile, Mexico and China also respond with their own tariffs on U.S. products, further intensifying the trade tensions. April 3rd, 2025. The automotive industry feels the pinch as a 25% tariff is imposed on imported cars and auto parts. This move is expected to push vehicle prices higher, affecting both new and used car markets and sparking concerns among global automakers about a potential economic slowdown. Back in the US, the tariffs were justified as a way to shrink the trade deficit and address concerns over national security, drug trafficking, and illegal immigration. Up north, Canadian leaders and citizens alike weren't exactly rolling out the welcome mat. In response, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau called these tariffs unjustified and unreasonable. Canada then targeted U.S. goods, ranging from orange juice to peanut butter and wine, with its own 25% tariffs. The tariff targets vary. U.S. measures hit Canadian exports like steel, aluminum, and automobiles, while Canada's counter tariffs focus on U.S. agricultural products, consumer goods, and manufactured items. Consider this: when John, American consumer, goes to buy a new car, the increased cost of imported parts due to tariffs might make him rethink his purchase. Similarly, Sarah, a Canadian who adores American peanut butter, suddenly faces higher prices, leading her to switch brands or cut back on her consumption. Now, imagine a large family reunion where everyone trades homemade goods, recipes, and stories. Two key family members, Kim, representing the United States, and her Canadian cousin, Courtney, find themselves locked in a heated debate about fairness in pricing and sharing goods. The spark, Kim's complaint.
Every time Courtney sends over her stuff, her prices undercut ours. To protect our family business, I'm adding an extra fee. Think of it as a tariff on everything she brings.
In real life, this extra fee is exactly what a tariff is, a government-imposed tax on imported goods designed to make foreign products less attractive compared to local alternatives. Courtney's retort,
"If you're slapping extra fees on my items, then I'm doing the same with yours. You'll soon understand what it's like to face extra charges on everything you import."
This tit-for-tat mirrors the escalating tariff battles seen on the global stage, where each side aims to protect its domestic industries, often at the expense of everyday consumers. What does this mean for the family? For Kim's household, American consumers. Imagine you're on Kim's side. You're eyeing a new gadget at a family store, only to see that every item now carries an extra fee due to these tariffs. It's like borrowing a cookbook from a relative and having to pay a fee each time. For Courtney's household, Canadian consumers. Now, picture being in Courtney's shoes, where your favorite imported jam suddenly costs more because of these extra charges. In both scenarios, the family, just like consumers at large, ends up paying more for everyday items. In economic terms, these tariff battles can disrupt global supply chains, raise prices for consumers, and even slow down economic growth. Both sides might achieve some protection for local industries, but the overall cost is borne by the everyday consumer, whether they're enjoying a gadget, a meal, or a special family treat. The impact of these tariff policies stretches far beyond individual transactions. U.S. industries, especially in automotive and manufacturing sectors, now face higher production costs. In Canada, businesses that rely heavily on American exports are witnessing declining sales. This trade dispute has spurred uncertainty, prompting discussions about the future of trade agreements and economic partnerships on a global scale. Adding another twist, Canadian officials have even launched an educational campaign across several U.S. states, boldly declaring tariffs are a tax on your grocery bill to underscore how these policies hit consumers directly. Experts warn that if these tariff battles continue unchecked, they could escalate into a full-blown trade war, disrupting global supply chains and slowing down economic growth across the board. In summary, the current exchange of tariffs isn't just a bilateral spat between the United States and Canada. It's a complex, multinational saga involving Mexico, China, and the European Union. While these measures aim to protect domestic industries, the resulting ripple effects remind us how interconnected our global economy truly is. Whether you're paying more for a car, a cup of coffee, or even your favorite peanut butter, these trade policies affect us all. Thank you for watching. If you found this analysis helpful, please subscribe for more in-depth looks at current events and political insights. Share your thoughts and questions in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next video.